What's up, everyone? I'm here with Randy, and today we traded through the Trump tariff news. It was insane, and there was a lot of volatility. So, we're going to break down how we traded it and how we made some money.
What's going on, everyone? So let's just get into this. This was my trade from the morning, but this is how I came in looking at the market this morning. Basically, we had the market open Sunday. We had this massive gap down, and basically, I was looking at everything was looking bearish into the overnight. And then we take the start of day VWAP. NQ was looking a lot more bullish, but since we had this massive move down, I didn't think there was much more room for the price to come down. I was leaning long, but at this point, with everything going on with the Trump tweets and the news, I just came into the market prepared and looking for either side of the trade. So market open this morning. I was looking for a trade. Price pushed up. We set a high here, market open. And as price came back down, I noticed something on the CVD on Bookmap that we're basically sitting at plus 100, and at the 944 candle, it flipped to minus 1,000. So in my head, I'm looking for a short. I'm looking at midnight price down here at 943. Basically take the short, we come down, opening range is set now. And when we sit around here at this opening range, price could easily turn around in this volatile market. You know what? I'm not going to wait for midnight. I'm just going to take profits here, which I did, and basically pull $200 out of the trade. So I was happy with it. And it was just a quick, easy short. And then we had this Trump news come in here that I'll let Thomas talk a little bit more about and get his take on it.
Yeah, so I similar was looking for shorts. The overnight session, whenever we gap down and VIX is up 20 some percent, I know I'm looking for shorts. And it was right around here that I was really ready to take it going to midnight price. Using Edgeful, we know that by size, this wants to fill 70% of the time, which for me is a huge edge. So it gave me a clear target to the downside, but I just didn't have a good entry to get in. And that ended up keeping me out of the Trump news. So at 7:21 West Coast time, Trump announced that he had just made a deal with Mexico that they're going to put off the tariffs for another month. Now, if we understand about tariffs being that it's going to cost American businesses more money when we have tariffs in place, that's bad for the stock market. So if we're pushing back the tariffs, we're saying we're giving American companies more time with cheap imports. That's a positive for the stock market. So we rallied on that. We rallied almost 60 points in like 20 minutes. And I actually at first didn't even know that it was the Trump news when this first happened. And I thought it was going to be a great sell price, but I ended up staying out. And Randy uses Bookmap, which I don't use. So he's got like a little bit more insight into the market. Do you remember when the news came out, what the delta flipped from? Because I'm sure it was negative and then it went positive.
Yeah, I can actually pull that up for you right now. But one
Yeah.
thing I did notice before the news came in, there was orders sitting at, what is that, 59.50. I think it was 260 orders on Bookmap. And the sellers were failing to take that. The buyers just kept putting on more and more orders. And I'm watching this level and I'm like, is price going to go? And literally for three candles for 3 minutes straight, the sellers failed to take that level. And then if I come back here on Bookmap and have a look at the CVD, that's when that news came in and it just popped. And I at first thought it was the buyers. I thought the sellers were exhausted and the buyers were stepping back in. But lo and behold, that as Thomas was saying, that Trump had made a deal, or Mexico had made a deal with Trump on the news here. Let me see if I can pull this up. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, and you know what's actually really interesting, and it makes me think like the whole market is rigged or something, but the low of day price today was at the yearly open. So if we go to the 4-hour chart, I have it marked up here somewhere. Yep, look at this. So this is the start of the year open price. We held that to a tick today, and bounced off that. So that's telling me buyers are here. Buyers are in control. And so when we go right back down to the 1 minute, I want to show NQ because I think this is really important, and why I actually stayed out of trades the rest of the day was if we look at NQ from its weekly open, and we'll go to electronic trading hours. The VWAP was used as support once, twice, three times, and technically it was not used as support for the fourth time, and it broke in the overnight gap. But then we came up and we were holding it perfectly. So support and resistance is not always a single level, and it can move. So a VWAP is a really good level that can act as both support and resistance. So going into the rest of the week, I'm going to be looking to see if NQ is able to hold above or below this VWAP, because it seems to be pretty important.
Yeah, no, I totally see that. Even on another side note, that if you look at the all-time VWAP on ES
Yes,
on yesterday afternoon when market opened, it basically pushed down straight off of that VWAP.
Yep, the green one here is the all-time high VWAP.
Yeah, I have the same one marked. But going back to that question about Bookmap, so the
Yeah.
CVD was at 8,500, and then it flipped to minus 8,500. It flipped to minus 6,000. But by time, I don't have it. I have it on my laptop, so that's the only reason I can't share that screen with you, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I'll get that set up for our next video for sure. But so within 4 minutes, the CVD was now plus 70. So it flipped.
Dude, that's crazy.
It flipped 8,000 in 3.5, 4 minutes.
That's pretty crazy.
So it goes to show you that the buying strength and the volume was just, buyers. There was not a seller in sight.
Yep. And then basically the rest of the day for me was like a no trade day. We were pretty slow. Where we actually rejected earlier today was previous week's midpoint. So I'm starting to look at the previous day's midpoint and the previous week's midpoint as a kind of a gauge to see who's in control. I took a course that Chris Cady recommended on price action, and that was one of the key levels they used. But you can see here, it's just a kind of a sideways market. There was one more push higher, and I didn't catch that because I would much rather be flat on a day where I didn't find anything into the open and there's just unknown Trump news coming. I would rather be flat than take a loss. And Randy was already up on the day. So did you feel the need to trade anything here? Or
I was tempted, and I was going to trade a combine and go for a long on this basically where I had it marked up here. But it was on this hold of the initial balance high right here. Because price was kind of chopping around here, and I waited for a 15-minute candle close, and I thought we'd get a push higher, and we did, but it was just, when you have a 75-point move, and you know what I mean, 3 or 4 candles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
It's tough to read what's going on in the market.
Yeah, and you're just purely playing a momentum trade, and sometimes I'll get caught and throw out my system and just start trading the price momentum, and that's when I got to stop myself.
Anytime I trade momentum like that, or I trade news, it leads to tilt, because I'll be catching the move long and short, which is just I throw everything out the window, and I'm long chasing it as soon as the candles flip, because they're so big. I try and short chase the other side of the trade, so I could totally see that. But yeah, no, with all this Trump news coming out, I'm looking at ways to incorporate trading the news a little bit more, and putting stops at break even as soon as you get into profit, and be willing to take those paper cuts and catch one of these moves. But again, that's not it. It worked out for me on Friday, but it's something I'm definitely looking at. But I'm not quite there to tell you exactly how I want to do it or how I would do it. But it's just an idea that I've been floating, and we'll see tomorrow when market opens. We almost filled the gap today, so let's see. But again, who knows? Some news might come out here in the next little bit. Trump's going to say Canada's becoming the 51st state or something, which I'll be excited for. And then,
Well, we'll keep this one concise, and you'll be seeing these a lot more with me and Randy. You can follow him in the description below. And thanks for coming on, Randy. I appreciate it.
Cheers, Thomas. I appreciate it. And I'll see everyone soon. Everybody enjoy your day.